First things first, he got me a crystal Judith Lieber bag. Next, we have a little bracelet. Dun, 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 dun. It's a classic red bracelet for Chinese New Year. I've had about 3 of these, but
If you've ever wondered how the children of billionaires live and enjoy luxury, Becca Bloom has the answer. Her real name is Rebecca Ma. She's 27 years old. She grew up in Atherton, California, a town where the median home costs nearly $8 million. And Silicon Valley billionaires were her neighbors. Becca went to a $70,000 a year prep school, founded 3 companies before she graduated high school, got a business degree from USC, and now works a client-facing finance role at Bloomberg. She is on paper the most overachieving person you've ever seen. Becca's parents, Simon Ma and Heidi Chow, are alleged tech billionaires who exposed her to luxury from birth. Then she joined TikTok in January 2025, and in 12 months after that, she became the most talked about, most dissected, most controversially beloved influencer on the internet, racking up 5.4 million followers. Becca wasn't famous because she was the loudest, the most dramatic, or an expert in rage baiting. She became famous for riching right, as Louis, a TikTok creator with almost 2 million followers, put it.
Eat the rich! Fuck billionaires! Yeah, we hate them!
Hey guys, so today I'm gonna be feeding my cat solid gold bricks and the hearts of orphans.
Aw, that's so cute. See, she's a rich person who riches right. They could never make me hate you, Becca. Billionaires are my friends.
Becca endeared herself to millions by doing things other members of Rich Talk got dragged for. It started with outrageous videos of feeding her pets expensive dishes.
ate my dog's breakfast with me. His coat's been a little dull, so we've been adding more omega-3s into his diet. Our base today is sweet potato and rice. Next, our chef made him some steak. I believe this is ribeye, quail eggs. He likes the shells, and we're gonna top it with a little bit of uni, some chicken cooked in salmon oil, a little bit of salmon caviar. We're gonna top it all off with some bone broth, and then an edible flower for decoration. Da-da-dum.
She also posted multiple luxury hauls, displaying jewelry worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, as if it were nothing.
Unbox the most stunning piece of high jewelry with me. It's the year of the snake, and I'm incredibly superstitious. Ta-da! So this piece is part of the Bulgari Polychroma collection, which is probably my favorite ever collection by them because of how colorful it is. It has 2 snakes intertwined, perfect for my superstitions. Oh my goodness, this is how it looks on. Okay, second piece is also from the Bulgari High Jewelry Serpentine collection. If I need to tell the time, I just flip it open.
People went insane for it. Her comment sections were wall-to-wall, "Eat the rich, but not you." Fans called her the only likable billionaire online. She landed on Time Magazine's 100 most influential internet creators list alongside Mr. Beast, Joe Rogan, and Charli D'Amelio. Keep in mind that all of this happened within a year of Becca creating a TikTok page. But the internet is a dangerous place. The more famous Becca became, the more scrutiny followed her daily life. And a deeper look revealed cracks that instantly shattered the illusion. It started with an accusation of exaggerating wealth. Then people got tired of her rage-baiting videos, but nothing was more damaging to Becca's reputation than the truth about her family's wealth. We're talking legal filings, SEC complaints, class action lawsuits, and documented allegations against her family's business. And what started as the internet's love affair with a soft-spoken heiress became something else entirely, a full forensic examination. I'll take you through every controversy, starting from the fake wealth allegations. When Becca Bloom started posting, her content was simple. In fact, she said she only joined TikTok to make a video of her cat and didn't think people would actually want to watch her.
Hi guys, I realize most of you don't know me yet, so today I'm gonna do a little get to know me session. I started this TikTok account a week ago, and it was literally for my cat to edit that cat video at the start, and I never knew that people would actually want to watch me.
After her first video blew up, Becca started posting her daily life, which just happened to include things like a jewelry stack worth over $300,000 that she wore as her everyday jewelry.
Hi guys, we're gonna do an updated everyday jewelry tour. Starting off with the newest piece in my collection, it's this Folie de Pré ring from the Van Cleef High Jewelry collection. I wear that right next to the 4-leaf.
Her everyday jewelry looks like it costs enough for a small house. That single video tells you everything you need to know about the gap between Becca's world and the people watching her. Yet people loved it, because Becca wasn't the typical influencer. There was no screaming into the camera, no fake energy, no manufactured drama. She had a soft voice and calm vibes, and she wasn't trying to sell you anything.
bracelet. So have the Tiffany Victoria bracelet and the T, as well as this diamond 4-leaf clover. Moving on to my left wrist, we have this Van Cleef bracelet, which is supposed to be in the mother of pearl, but it's super dirty, so it might look.
At first, most people loved her content. Her fans found her endearing and left positive comments on her posts. The everyday jewelry haul attracted thousands of comments like, "This is my kind of rich person. I used to work where she works." And to be this humble and relatable while working a demanding job when she doesn't have to should tell you everything about her work ethic. I don't know how, but you do not come off entitled or bragging. You're so elegant, and I really enjoy your videos. I know her voice is so calming, and she just seems so genuine. That wasn't the only video Becca made of prepping her cat's food. There were so many others, and each one had exotic and expensive foods. She also had a job. Despite allegedly coming from wealth, Becca has maintained an actual day job as an account manager. She works 80-hour weeks at Bloomberg, and her husband also works as a software engineer at Amazon Web Services. The fact that she allegedly has access to generational wealth but still tried to live a regular life with her partner created the comforting illusion that TikTok was just something she did for fun, not for money, not for clout, just because she felt like it. She became the queen of rich talk and everyone's favorite humble billionaire. But here's where it gets complicated. Becca was not building her following in a vacuum. She was building it during one of the most economically brutal periods for working and middle-class Americans in a generation. Wages were stagnant, inflation was up, and people were financing grocery runs. And on the same device where you're reading about rent increases and layoffs, Becca Bloom is showing you her cat's Versace breakfast plate. People started talking, and backlash wasn't just about envy. It was about dissonance. Financial analysts started pointing out that watching Rich Talk was warping young people's baseline understanding of what financial success even meant.
I think a lot of people think, oh, this is just aspirational. It's just kind of, escapism content. But I really do find the explosion of this type of content dangerous because it will warp our baseline of what we think is normal. When the content that we consume is full of people that are living these lives that are the 0.001%, our brains will, without us even realizing a lot of the time, calibrate these experiences as achievable or normal. And I think that explains why a lot of young people believe that you need to be making $500,000 to be financially successful or need to have a net worth of $10 million to be.
If Becca's everyday jewelry costs more than most people's annual salary, what does that do to a 22-year-old's benchmark for what's normal? For what should they aspire to? One article talked about how a meaningful percentage of young Americans now believe you need to be earning over $500,000 a year to be considered financially successful. Thanks to rich talk influencers like Becca, that number is not a coincidence. At some point, a group of other influencers decided to take a closer look at her expensive displays, and some things were off.
Am I the only one who thinks that Becca Bloom's not actually rich and she's not just rage bait? No, she's a sophisticated experiment to see how much egregious bullshit people will actually watch. And
according to this creator, Becca wasn't extremely wealthy, but was deliberately posting misleading content to make people believe she's a billionaire, while she bags luxury brand deals and makes good money. The creator singles out some examples to support her claim.
Believe. Exhibit A, the Jean Paul Gaultier dress, was worn by Nora Smith on the same week and then showed up in a Montecito boutique. Coincidence or influencer farm crop rotation? And
it's not a lie. Nora Smith and Becca Bloom did wear the same Jean Paul Gaultier dress around the same time, but that's not enough reason to conclude she's a fraud. Maybe they both have the same taste in high fashion. It wasn't just that dress, though. There were other things. Becca's known for jewelry hauls, and her signature brand is Van Cleef.
A few months ago, Van Cleef flew my family out to Italy to look at their high jewelry collection, and one of the pieces we purchased there finally arrived. So this piece is from their Treasure Island collection, and it's one of a kind. Dun da da dun! Just kidding. Dun da da dun! There's only one of these earrings in the world, and it's convertible. Should we try it on? Uh-oh, where did my hole go? Oh my goodness. I am absolutely obsessed. They told my mom we could take the dangly part off. Whoop. And wear it as a stud. So it's meant to look like a little seashell with a pearl. Cute. I don't know. Let me know which side you guys like more. I actually prefer the little stud. Bye.
There were multiple videos like this with Becca unboxing jewelry worth millions of dollars. These videos would rack up millions of views with mixed comments. Some called her out. Just because she's soft-spoken and appears sweet doesn't release her from the ethical implications of being from a billionaire family. Another person said she would stop watching Becca's videos because she is now faced with the harsh economic realities of everyday life. She comes from a wealthy family, and she can spend money however she wants. I do not hold that against her. I did enjoy her content, but since my husband just got riffed at the age of 59 and our entire retirement and how the life that we thought we were gonna have has just been ripped out from under us, I can no longer watch these videos without feeling despair. The thing is, her billionaire status didn't irritate everybody. She still had a lot of supporters who defended her in the comments section. All the negative comments on her doesn't stop me from watching all her videos. What's not to love about her? Her calm voice and cheerfulness is so infectious. Becca, don't stop. And let's be honest, she does look adorable in all her videos, but people started noticing that they were only seeing most of these high-end jewelry during unboxing and never again. It was like she was advertising the products for Van Cleef and returning them after getting her commission. The creator who called her out for repeating the same dress as Nora Smith also pointed out the missing jewelry.
Next, this poor darling says she's had so many Van Cleef Alhambra bracelets, yet she keeps losing them, which explains why she never wears them again.
Was she returning the jewelry, or is there simply no reason for her to display them again? I really can't tell, but the comments supported this take. You are not alone. A few weeks ago, I saw an accountant on here compare her purchases and assets, visible through social media, to her family's publicly available finances and determined there were 3 possibilities. The family's businesses are seriously underreporting their value, she doesn't own many of the things she flaunts online, or she is getting very profitable sponsorships. Apart from being accused of returning jewelry, Becca also found herself in hot water for posting her Birkin bags. It's not unusual for the elite to own Birkins, but something seemed off in Becca's case.
Oh my goodness. It is a canvas mini Birkin. First they tried to offer me a mini pink Birkin, which I already had. I wanted something a little bit more special and unique.
But trust the internet to have a community of luxury good authenticators who will spend hours of their weekend analyzing the curvature of a Birkin on TikTok just to prove it's fake. Drew's View, a creator who specializes in calling out public figures who use fake items, made a video analyzing Becca's bags.
You wear fakes, she wear fakes, she wear fakes, honey. Now remember, when we left off with them circles in part 1, for them straps that the real ones do not come with, people say, she could have got them custom done, she's rich, she got it custom. Honey, after further journalistic investigation, honey, let me tell you this. Can you see it right here? Pay attention.
The thing is, the bags she used during most of her unboxing videos looked 100% original. So how come the bags she used during her daily life looked fake upon closer inspection? The comment section had different theories. One camp said they weren't surprised, pointing out other unbelievable instances. I stopped believing her when she said he essay at Neiman Marcus or Saks told her to come redeem her points, and she showed us a collection worth thousands of dollars. Even if you bought the whole store, you wouldn't get that much point, lol. Another person pointed out how Becca was just an influencer who would post anything for views, compared her to other crazy rich Asians like Jamie Z. I don't understand how people don't see it. Becca Bloom is a TikTok influencer. She shows you whatever to get views. Jamie Z, on the other hand, is a legit real person. She's in fashion. She's not aiming to get views or anything. She's just doing what she chooses to do. She won't please her audience, lol. It wasn't just that one bag. Drew analyzed other bags from Becca's socials and came to the same conclusion. Drew found multiple mini Kelly bags in her post had handle hardware and flap curvature that didn't match authenticated examples.
Sweetie, they don't do that. And remember, this pink one has the holes, and it does have the Hermes stamp. They do not come with straps. They do not come with holes. This is fake. So she does mix fakes in her collection.
Beyond fake bags and jewelry, there have also been rumors about the gift unboxing videos being fake or misleading. One of the most central emotional pillars of Becca's content is her image David as the ultimate devoted partner, constantly buying her luxury gifts, from custom Van Cleef necklaces to Chanel bags.
Everything my husband got me for Christmas. So the main thing I got this year was a pair of diamond studs. This is how they look on. Next, he got me 2 jackets. First is this giant pink and blue checkered coat. Next, he got me this vest, which he chose all by himself. I love the little buttons. It kind of reminds me of the Joker. Next, we have a matching diamond bracelet, which we're gonna get resized. He also got me 2 cashmere jackets. This is the back. Same thing, different color. Next, he got me a little beagle. Dun, 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 dun. From the same store, he also got me a jacket and a phone case. I love the back. Next, we have have another coat. This one's from Loro Piana. So it's a giant black cape and it's kind of giving Batman. I'm trying to be goth in the new year. It's getting dark, but let me know if you guys want a full haul of everything I got.
The gifting is not incidental. It's a recurring content theme. There are videos specifically about what David got her for their anniversary, for Valentine's Day, Christmas, or even for their wedding. Becca paints him as this incredibly rich, loving, and generous husband who splurges on her at every given opportunity. But people allege that some of those gifts from David were actually purchased by Becca's mother, or pulled from Becca's own existing collection and repackaged for the camera. The Bulgari high jewelry pieces she unboxed, rumors began to circulate that those were loaned for appearances rather than purchased. Things became even more complicated when an alleged neighbor called Becca out for fabricated content and filming in common spaces. The accuser reached out to Drew with the following message: "Anonymous, please. Just saw your video on Becca Bloom. We live in the same building as her in SF and can confirm most of her content is fabricated. Her GRWM are filmed in our building's common spaces. Her content is stitched together over different times and locations, and she actually got married to her fiancé a year or two ago, in the building, in jeans and a t-shirt." That's right, she wasn't just accused of creating a fake social media persona, but also of being married long before she actually did her dream wedding. The message also included a reference to one of Becca's videos and evidence that she was indeed filming in common areas to make her life look much more aesthetically pleasing. Upon further research, I found a video of Becca that matched the common spaces in the building the alleged neighbor mentioned.
I'm meeting my fiance's coworkers for the first time, and David's all brown outfit was giving Curious George, so I decided to dress up as his handler. I even have this very official blazer. I read somewhere that wearing yellow cheers people up, so I'm gonna walk in there and all the tech bros are gonna be happy to see me.
The thing is, Becca's fans defended her fiercely in the comments section. One person who's also familiar with the building said that Becca's parents are shareholders in the building where she was staying at the time, and that she was probably using the common areas to film for safety reasons. I used to live in her building, and her penthouse unit is the exact same layout as the common area. She probably prefers to film in the public area to avoid showing her own place for safety reasons. Also, her parents are shareholders of the company that owns the building. Look it up. When I looked it up, I saw that Becca's family business included real estate. So it's possible that her parents may be shareholders in the company that owns her former building, but I couldn't verify since the address was protected for Becca's privacy. Also, while most people didn't pay any mind to the housing allegations, the marriage allegations attracted some attention because they had merit. You see, at the time Becca was claiming she was engaged, she and David both wore wedding bands. But when fans questioned their decision to wear those wedding bands even though they weren't married yet, Becca had the perfect response.
My engagement ring. A lot of you guys have asked why both David and I wear wedding bands, and it's because he wanted to feel engaged as well. And while we were at Tiffany picking out his wedding band, I fell in love with Victoria, so he got one for me as well. If you're new here,
And it absolutely worked. Most people believed her and didn't question her explanation in the slightest. She continued making luxury content and started the countdown to her dream wedding. Things kept going smoothly until the actual wedding ceremony and party. It was as if a veil had been lifted and people started seeing clearly for the first time. Becca Bloom's wedding was the ultimate event on her page. From the day she created TikTok to edit a video for her cat to the wedding day itself, everything was calculated and documented. Becca posted a TikTok of the invites that got 22.9 million views, one of her most watched videos ever. The invitations arrived in a velvet-lined wooden box engraved with the couple's names. They included a hand-drawn gold foil illustration of the venue, with an engagement photo shoot card from Provence, France, tucked inside. It was genuinely beautiful stationery.
Our wedding invitations just arrived. We designed every part of our invitations with our designer. It comes in this soft cream velvety box, and when we open it, you can see a hand-drawn gold foil illustration of our wedding venue, Villa Balbiano. Here is the RSVP and invitation card, and if we lift the tassel, it is our engagement photo shoot in Provence. So I think I told some of y'all already, but my mom actually orchestrated.
But something was wrong. The wedding invitation had a typo, and it didn't take long for someone to point it out.
So I'll read it to you. Together with their families, Rebecca Ma and David Townwall request the pleasure of your company, of your presence at their wedding celebration. Okay, so hold up. Let me read that again. Request the pleasure of your company, of your presence at their wedding celebration. I mean, English is like also my second language, but I feel like that's not right.
Are you telling me that not one person noticed this mistake before the invitations were printed? No one bothered to proofread an invitation that expensive? I can't wrap my head around it. Was it poetic license, rich people speak, or simply sloppy work? Nobody knows, and Becca never addressed it. Regardless, it didn't look good. But let's move on to the actual wedding. On August 28, 2025, in Villa Balbino in Lake Como, Italy, the same property used as a filming location for House of Gucci, Becca finally got married. Vogue covered it. The Knot covered it. Wedded Wonderland covered it. The photographs were shot by Jose Villa, one of the world's most sought-after wedding photographers. The Cartalia Station Studio, a two-time Knot Best of Weddings winner, designed the stationery. The ceremony dress was a custom Oscar de la Renta gown with embroidered peonies, the unofficial flower of China. The jewelry was none other than Van Cleef's and Arpels. The rehearsal dinner was hosted by Ralph Lauren Purple Label, and David's ceremony suit was designed by Tom Brown. The estimated cost was $6 million for about 50 guests. Becca described it as small and personal because she and David are both introverts. Everything seemed perfect, and Becca got mostly positive feedback from her fans who saw it as the dream wedding of the century. Comments flooded her page. For the first time in my life, I'm genuinely happy for someone rich, because no amount of money touches how good of a person Becca Bloom is. The most congratulations to you both. Thank you for this video. All I kept hearing was photos were photoshopped, and the only thing I could not understand was the rainbow, and holy wow, rich people riching right. Congrats. Something stood out though, and it wasn't long until creators started calling them out. For starters, let's talk about the paid partnerships during the event. One creator who analyzed the wedding content noticed that Becca posted sponsored content on the day of her own wedding, and I verified that Lancome at least partially sponsored the wedding. She posted a Get Ready With Me video on her wedding day, which was basically a paid ad for Lancome.
Well, here with Mr. Daniel.
Hi, everyone.
We're going to start off by using the Tonti Doll Ultra Wear Foundation.
In the corner, yeah. If you need the sun, it's right there.
Next, we're going in with the All Over Concealer because we have a very long day ahead of us. This is the creamiest concealer I've ever used. For lips, we're going with the L'Absolu Rouge for a nice matte lip look. It's in the color Hush Hush.
Becca also took many other sponsored photos on her wedding day for Lancome. Now, brand deals are normal. Sponsoring content is normal. But let's be honest, true billionaires don't typically run paid ads on their wedding day. The economics of needing that revenue during her own ceremony didn't quite align with the I don't do influencing for money narrative Becca has maintained throughout her TikTok career. Becca's wedding was more of an expensive social media ad, specifically designed to trend and create publicity, than an intimate gathering of a billionaire's daughter. It looked like Becca was doing what she had to do to keep her audience hooked, and it was working. There was also the rainbow fireworks. At the reception, Becca had rainbow fireworks and they went viral. But have you ever seen a billionaire's wedding with rainbow fireworks? They typically use real fireworks, not viral TikTok trends. Someone in the comments section also called out the glamorous wedding dress. They noted how Becca's walk down the aisle didn't look comfortable. If it was a custom dress made by some of the best designers in the world, why didn't they pay more attention to the fitting? Or was that an advertisement for Oscar de la Renta as well? What I noticed is the video of her walking or struggling down the aisle. Are you telling me that she's wearing an Oscar de la Renta dress and they couldn't tailor the front of it? Also, all of the times she traveled and tried the dress on, she didn't walk in her heels. She was walking all over the front of it and actually had to stop a few times to get her foot off the front. Another person complained that the wedding lacked opulence and looked like a tacky trend, combining everything that's happened in the last 5 years. Her wedding is what did it for me. I expected custom-made dresses and opulence and taste. Instead, we got a generic wannabe display of every trend in the last 5 years, like it was her take on a Crazy Rich Asians movie. The Middle Eastern weddings I've seen were so much more impressive than hers. Now, I'm going to cut Becca some slack. She is young and obviously enjoys the social media spotlight. So maybe she didn't want the regular, usually boring, opulent weddings super rich people have. Maybe she wanted something more colorful and mainstream than expected. After the event, Becca teased at a second wedding with a traditional Chinese theme. She said it would be much larger and planned by her parents. What it also means is that Becca is up for yet another cycle of content, sponsorships, and audience engagement. Well, the wedding talk eventually died down, and it seemed like the new couple were enjoying happily married life without the controversies until an investigation revealed something dark about Becca's family. All right, this scandal is more troubling than anything else in Becca's story. Because this isn't about vibes or optics. This is about legal filings, SEC complaints, class action lawsuits, and documented allegations. So Becca's parents, Simon Ma and Heidi Chow, started Camelot Information Systems back in 2000. It was a Chinese IT company specializing in enterprise application services and financial industry technology. Fast forward to 2010, and Camelot was doing so well that it listed in the New York Stock Exchange, NYSE, under the ticker CIS. The IPO was huge, raising nearly $150 million. Becca's parents owned about a third of the company at the time, making their stake worth hundreds of millions on paper. Becca was even there when the bell rang at the NYSE. But things took a turn. Within a year of going public, a research firm published a report called The Fantasy World of Camelot Information Systems, highlighting some serious red flags. They found some major irregularities. First, the report revealed that the company's CFO, Mr. Gordon Lau, was formerly the CFO of Xinhao Finance, a company that was previously investigated for fraud. Second, the company had failed to disclose significant and ongoing employee attrition that was damaging its ability to acquire new clients. Third, Camelot had misrepresented the number of highly trained professionals it had available. And fourth, and this is the critical one, the company's contract with its most important client, IBM, was not as solid as represented and would not be renewed on the same terms. So here's what went down. The stock was flying high at $28.18 per share in January 2011, but then it crashed. Then suddenly it dropped 26% in one day, closing at $8.32 on August 18, 2011. Eventually, the case was settled, and Simon Ma took the company private in 2014. By then, Camelot's value had tanked to $98.2 million, a far cry from its IPO days. Now here's the thing, the lawsuits were settled, not won or lost in court. Settling doesn't mean they're guilty, but it doesn't mean they're innocent either. It just means they paid to make the problem go away, no questions asked. And what's on record is that multiple law firms backed investors' claims of securities fraud with some pretty specific allegations. Those claims were solid enough to get past initial scrutiny and settle. Becca was a child when most of this happened, so she didn't run Camelot. She didn't file those IPO documents. None of this is her fault personally, so why does it matter? Well, you see, Becca's entire brand is built on the narrative of authentic wealth, ethical success, and doing rich right. She has cited her parents as inspirations and often shared financial advice from them.
Things my parents taught me about money that schools didn't. Schools teach you how to earn money, but very few people teach you how to multiply it, and that difference is everything. First is that you don't build real money on salary alone. If your only income is tied to your time, then your growth is capped at 24 hours a day. I try to keep 5 income streams at all times, whether that be exposure to broad market ETFs, equity, real estate. Some people have a side business. Next, the younger you are, the more risk you can take.
Becca is all about entrepreneurship and hard work. She talks about watching her family's IPO roadshow as a kid and being super inspired. But then you dig into the legal stuff and it's like, wait, what's going on here? If her parents were such hardworking entrepreneurs, why was the IPO that made her family wealthy riddled with allegations of misleading investors? Becca has been quiet on the fraud allegations, which is not unusual. I'm not saying she's guilty of fraud, but can her authentic success story hold up? I'll let you decide. Beyond the financial scandal, Becca also faced criticism when she posted a video about economic inequality that drew some backlash. For Becca, it all started when she posted one of her self-help videos about wealth equality between men and women.
Here's what men don't understand about equality. You think equality means splitting the bill. Women live in a society where equality has never existed in the first place. Women still only make 80% of what a man makes for the same full-time job. So when you ask for a 50-50 date, know that her 50% costs more of her income than it does yours. Second of all, women pay more just to exist in the dating world, about $400 a month just on grooming and beauty. And that's not because they want to spend more, it's because they're held to the beauty standards that men built and judge them by. Not only that, women carry safety risk too. They are 2 to 3 times more likely to experience violence from a date. Men love to talk about equality, but not the part where you have to send your locations to your friends and carry safety weapons in your purse just to go to dinner with you. Here's the irony.
The message was clear and sound, but not everyone believed Becca was qualified to speak on these issues, considering the fact that the existence of rich families like hers is, in itself, inequality. Not everybody liked the post. The comments were divided between people who pointed out the irony of a billionaire talking about equality and people who just supported her because she's Becca Bloom. One person said, "I'll not be lectured on equality by a billionaire. Not now, not ever." And Becca's response? When someone can't challenge a point, they challenge the existence of a person who made it. Thanks for the case study. Well, that's one way to deflect a valid point. The post generated a lot of buzz, and other creators made videos criticizing Becca's post.
What advice can we take from a billionaire, especially about feminism? Like, well, yeah, he should pay half the bill, or he should pay all of the bills because feminism is like not equal, like we get paid less. Girl, most men out there are not making enough to pay all of the bills, and that's okay.
Eventually, she got tired of defending herself and just let the issue go. This leaves us with a question. Is Becca oblivious of the world around her because she grew up rich? Or is there more to her story than people currently know? One thing I know for sure is that Becca's parents are extremely wealthy, and their family business has a shady past. Becca and her husband also have their own incomes. The combined wealth may explain how Becca is able to maintain her luxurious lifestyle. She's gotten a lot of backlash, but millions of fans still see Becca as the queen of rich talk who rich is right. While she still gets deals and endorsements from luxury brands, our next out-of-touch influencer lost everything. In 2016, Jaclyn Hill was living the influencer dream. She had almost 4 million subscribers, sold out makeup collabs, and had a loyal fan base that never skipped her content. Jaclyn was still riding the wave of her successful collaboration with Becca Cosmetics from 2015. The campaign led to the record-breaking sale of 25 units of champagne pop in 25 minutes. Her fans loved her content because they found her relatable at the time. And then she launched her own cosmetic line, and everything changed.
And this is my brand reveal video. I'm gonna stop being so emotional.
The first problem was that some of her lipsticks were below standard, and some posed a health hazard. The defective product launch was only the beginning. Jaclyn would spend the next few years fighting one scandal after another. At one point, she was forced to put a PR firm on retainer for damage control. As if selling spoiled lipsticks wasn't bad enough, Jaclyn created a bronzer line without considering the needs of people with darker complexions. Now that's one scandal you don't want to find yourself in as a public figure in this era. Jaclyn kept getting involved in controversy, but the worst case was when she was accused of branding theft in 2022. Jaclyn launched a loungewear brand at the expense of another business.
I am revealing my brand new brand, Cozy. Just saying it out loud feels so good.
This decision would be a ticking time bomb that would cost Jaclyn all her brands within about 1 year. The thing is, it wasn't just the branding scandals. Jaclyn's content type changed significantly over the years. She went from posting relatable and helpful content to just showing off her wealth in such an out-of-touch way.
So I've decided that I want to start eating caviar in a much more casual way. I literally can't stand myself sometimes. But I did see that there is a trend going around where you try caviar on McDonald's chicken nuggets. I saw Avery do this, and I'm like...
Well, that was one example. These kinds of videos kept popping up, and it just seemed like Jaclyn had lost her way. But it wasn't just the videos. It was a series of events that turned Jaclyn from the most loved, down-to-earth beauty influencer into one of the most controversial people on the internet. And you know what they say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Let's talk about the controversial Lipstick-gate scandal, because it revealed how greedy she had become. In May 2019, Jaclyn launched Jaclyn Cosmetics, her own independent beauty brand. She announced the product launch on YouTube with a long, emotional video about how passionate she was about it. Jaclyn was really excited about the launch, since it's something she'd been working on for years. Her followers couldn't wait to get their hands on her products, but they could have never anticipated what would happen when they eventually got it.
And I just cannot believe how privileged I am for this to be my product. Like, I am so proud of myself, and you guys know I'm so hard on myself. I'm such a perfectionist, and I'm honestly so mean to myself that for me to say that, it's such a big deal. Like, I am so proud.
The centerpiece of the launch was the So Rich lipstick collection, 20 nude shades marketed as her dream project, something she had poured her heart into since our first lab meeting in April 2014.
This is my nude lipstick collection. We are launching with 20 shades of all nude. Yay! I'm getting spirit fingers because I'm weird and uncomfortable because I can't believe this happened.
Everything about the rollout said, this is the real Jaclyn Hill, finally unleashed. The launch generated a major buzz. I mean, people pre-ordered. They posted unboxing videos. And when the products became saturated, the internet lost its mind. Beauty influencers who received her PR package were so excited. Big names in the beauty industry like Raw Beauty Christie, That Girl Shay, Marlene Estelle, and Brianna Fox were all contacted by Jaclyn's team. The goal was for these beauty influencers to use and review the product, providing more exposure for Jaclyn Cosmetics. The first sign of trouble was the delay in delivering these PR packages. Also, things would take a turn for the worse when customers started using it.
Bro, what the heck is going on in here? I did not want to say nothing bad about these new lipsticks from Jacqueline Hills, but check this out. Wow, do you see that? It's cracking all the way around, and I haven't even opened this. Okay, not a good look.
Customers opened their lipstick and found hairy fibers embedded inside the products. Some had mold-like spots, lumps, and black dots. The photos flooded Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube. Side-by-side comparisons of what the lipstick was supposed to look like versus what arrived in the mail. The comments on X were concerning. One user said, "Yes, indeed, that is a magnet and a fleck of metal that was embedded in my Jacqueline Cosmetics lipstick. I feel like the hairs literally don't even matter anymore, considering I found something so much worse and so much more dangerous." Another one said that all of her company's products were cheaply made, not just the lipstick. "I bought Jacqueline Hill's makeup back in January for her foundation launch. Everything was incredibly cheaply made. Formulas aren't special and are dated, and the branding itself is beyond tacky and just ugly. I just don't get it. Hire a team to do this shit right for you." One commenter questioned why Jacqueline had spent 5 years developing her product only to release something bad. Took Jacqueline Hill like 5 years to release her makeup line, and she released 20 shades of lipsticks we've seen before, and they're all contaminated? Incredible. And honestly speaking, they weren't wrong. The majority had major quality issues. Fellow YouTuber Raw Beauty Christy posted a 52-minute video putting lipsticks under a microscope, revealing holes, embedded fibers, and hairs. She concluded that the lipsticks may have been sitting on the shelf for a long time before the products were released to the public. In her words,
weren't made recently and that these have maybe been sitting on the shelves. The smell makes me feel that way. And frankly, the quality control on these is poor at best. There is a lot of little holes in many of them, which is very bothersome, very bothersome to look at. There is a lot of little fuzzies and hair. There is marks in some of them. Some of them are broken. Some of them are melted. Some of them have chunks out of them. And a lot of them are just less than perfect.
The video accumulated over 5 million views, and most people appreciated that Christy was unbiased yet respectful in her review of the lipstick. "I was very impressed by how kindly you gave a negative review without trashing anyone or being mean. Speaks volumes to your character. Yep, classy. Constructive criticism at its finest. This is how you criticize something without being nasty and mean personally to someone. Respect." Despite the backlash, Jacqueline still didn't recall the product immediately. Users created a Change.org petition calling for a product recall, which gathered over 29,000 signatures, citing potential adulteration in violation of FDA guidelines. 29,000 people. That wasn't a fringe internet pile-on. That was a documented, organized, community-wide demand for accountability. Eventually, Jacqueline posted a video addressing the issue.
First and foremost, I want to let you guys know the bases I'm going to be covering throughout this video. I want to talk about the melting issue. I want to talk about the white fuzzies. I want to talk about the black holes. And I want to talk about the grittiness and the texture that you guys are experiencing and give you informed details of what all of these issues are, what is causing them, and how.
She explained that what people were seeing were fibers from manufacturing gloves and mixing errors at the factory, and announced she was switching labs. Everything started looking good again, and it seemed like Jacqueline was taking accountability and ready to do whatever it takes to satisfy her customers. One prevailing narrative about the poor quality of the lipstick was that she had mass-produced them years before the official launch. People alleged that she stalled the launch during her divorce to protect her assets. However, she denied this in her video, claiming the products were produced right before the launch.
Accusation. My lipsticks did not go into mass production until the same month that I actually launched my brand. It was only a couple weeks prior to my launch that we started actual mass.
People weren't satisfied with her video, and it was evident from the comments section. She's reaching the word count, but not answering the question. Unless you wrote cotton fibers on the ingredients list, they are contaminated. That's the definition of the word. My older sister explaining to me why she sold my clothes. To make things significantly worse, fellow influencer Marlene Estelle publicly came forward, claiming the lab Jacqueline used was already known within the industry for being problematic. Remember that Estelle was one of the influencers who received a PR package from Jacqueline. And with over 1 million followers on YouTube, her voice had weight. Stella herself had experienced the exact same defects and switched labs before releasing her own product.
And so that's when I knew at this point the lab that I truly believe did this. And that's why I got up so upset. Okay, so on June 6th, 2016, it was a Monday. I know it because I have it on my calendar. I have saved all of my appointments where I go. I was at this lab working on my concealers that I never launched, and I will show you pictures of them. These are my concealers. They had shards of plastic in them. They had fingerprints. They had hairs in them. They had black specks in them. Does that sound familiar? These were concealers that I had with this lab that I was at on June 6, 20.
Stell's video raised an obvious question. If the lad had a bad reputation, why was it chosen? As pressure intensified, Jacqueline decided to refund those who complained about the quality of their products. She posted the announcement, "I'm so sorry if the product you received was anything less than perfect. If you are unsatisfied in any way, please contact help@jacquelincosmetics.com and we will be sure to give you a full refund as well as send you a new product. I stand behind my brand and will do whatever it takes to make sure my customers are satisfied. I am so grateful for your constant love and support and patience that you have given me." Despite the explanation and refund, the negative publicity was simply too much for Jacqueline to handle at that time. So she did what every YouTuber does when they're facing online heat. She disappeared from social media for a while. But going dark was a bad move. It only showed her audience avoidance, not accountability. Let's be honest, the people on the other side weren't trolls. They were customers who bought something that was literally bad for their health. Vanishing only pissed them off more. In fact, people pointed out that the refund came with a clause. If you accept it, you relinquish your right to take legal action against the company. I suggest you all read the tiny print at the bottom of you at Jacqueline Cosmetics refund. By accepting the refund, you might be relinquishing your right to take legal action later on. Could we get a lawyer to look at one of these refund emails? So obviously her legal team advised her to forego a refund to avoid an even more expensive loss should lawsuits arise in the future. Do the math. Sending out refunds would definitely cost less than legal fees and settlement if the case went to court. While the Lipgate scandal was the loudest related to Jacqueline and her brand, it wasn't the first and certainly wasn't the last. Let's take a step back to 2018 for a clearer picture.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am doing a collab video with this girl right here, Miss Kim Kardashian West, joining me on my channel today.
In 2018, Jacqueline Hill was one of the most powerful names in the beauty space. Her first Morphe eyeshadow palette had already been a massive commercial hit.
In this video, we are finally going to be talking about my palette that I created in collaboration with Morphe. It is called the Jacqueline Hill palette, which just sounds so weird for me to say, so I just call it my palette, because I don't know, it's just weird to say like the Jacqueline Hill palette. It seems so like official. We actually, when we first started collaborating on this, we actually wanted to name it something different. Like we wanted to name it like the Master palette, or we wanted to name it Jacqueline's Life palette, and then we also wanted to do Jacqueline's Dream palette, and we were like, that sounds too much like Barbie's Dream House. So we settled on just calling
it was selling out and driving insane traffic to Morphe, establishing her as someone who could move products at scale. And so the natural next step was to make more. She announced the Jacqueline Hill Vault Collection, 40 additional eyeshadows, all promising bold, saturated colors, following the same formula as the Jacqueline Hill palette.
Shadows. It is the same formulation, pressed the same way, same pigmentation as the Jacqueline Hill palette, which we all know and hopefully we all love. It's just so exciting because, as you guys know, my formula is not the same as the Morphe standard eyeshadow formula. Linda was so kind to allow me to develop my own formula with them and have it pressed in my own unique way so that it goes on completely differently.
It all seemed to be going well until the influencer review copies went out, and the feedback was not great. Influencers complained about patchy pigmentation, excessive fallout, and products that underperformed compared to the advertised claims.
Ghetto. I have never had a palette fall apart. I'm being honest, like this is ghetto. Are the other ones like that? I literally have used.
The whole thing looked like bait and switch marketing. They invested in creating a great product, then followed up with a substandard one while riding the same wave. When complaints about the quality of the Vault collection became too much, the company delayed mass production and returned to development. Morphe is 100% committed to giving our Morphe babes high-quality products that we're all proud to use. Due to inconsistent products, so our team and Jacqueline have made the decision to delay the launch. We will let you know the new launch date as soon as possible. This was when fans started losing faith in Jacqueline and should have served as a cautionary tale for her. But it didn't. The refined Vault collection was eventually released, and the beauty community moved on. giving Jacqueline yet another chance to prove she wasn't a sellout who only cared about money. But the contaminated lipstick and the defective eyeshadow debacles didn't teach Jacqueline anything. In fact, she would find herself in a similar situation in 2021 after she switched labs for Jacqueline Cosmetics and reformulated her products. It looked like she was trying to pivot forward, signaling the worst was over. In July 2021, she launched her bronzer line.
Launches. This is a 100% limited edition collection for summer. You guys, can we talk about this packaging? Can we also talk about this background? Like, shout out to my editor and my...
This time, quality control had been addressed, and the product didn't seem bad at all. The quality was great, and it blended well on the skin. Finally, it seemed like Jacqueline did something right until users started noticing something. People of color reported a limited shade range that appeared noticeably ashy and gray on darker complexions. So this time she wasn't dragged for product quality, but for lack of inclusivity. It was one of the few times Jacqueline actually tried to do the right thing by selling high-quality products to clients, but she botched it by not providing enough options. Some creators posted about it, and it didn't look good for Jacqueline.
But so Jacqueline Hill basically came out with bronzers, and it just wasn't for everybody, right? I said in my video, I was like, if she just wants to cater to fair-skinned people, then just say that. You know, don't try and fail.
Yeah, because when you put that title for all inclusivity and you're trying to, you know, bring that in your product line, and you come up with this, it's like...
You know, and I just feel bad for her because like she puts a lot of time and effort in her brand, a lot of money and stuff like that.
Does she?
Yeah, it's a lot of investors.
The comments were as expected. People weren't pleased with the release, saying that it's a limited range release doesn't wash. She made 5 bronzers for light medium skin tones. She could have made 3 bronzers in fair, medium, and deep, and it would have been far more inclusive. If she was determined to have a 5-shade release, then she could have added fair and sandy to those 3 I mentioned. She messed up but refuses to admit it, again, and relies on her devout followers to support her mistake. Yes, she hired a PR firm so she wouldn't have to personally deal with it. Every product she comes out with, there's always a problem, and I personally don't think she really cares, so I just don't support any of her stuff. Like by now she knows there's going to be backlash. She doesn't care. Jacqueline tried to mitigate the situation with a response from her personal page and from Jacqueline Cosmetics. So I heard that the new palettes have V2 written on the corner of the palettes. Is that true? Because if so, I only got 1 palette with V2 written. Would appreciate some explanation. Replying to the comment, Jacqueline said, "No, this is 100% not true. Those are batch codes that people are trying to interpret into something. We did a lot of work behind the scenes, and those codes mean something to the lab. I can assure you that every single old pallet was moved out of the warehouse and destroyed before we ever brought any new inventory back in. Everything for sale is new. Hopefully this clears some things up. We would like to address the shade range of our sun-kissed cream bronzers. We hear your feedback and recognize that the range is not broad enough. Our vision for Jacqueline Cosmetics is to create an inclusive and diverse brand that is a haven for all lovers of beauty. To ensure we deliver on that vision, we have partnered with Change Cadet, a diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI consulting firm, to look at all areas of opportunity within our business and to address our process going forward. We thank you for sharing your feedback with us and want you to know that we are committed to doing better. Jacqueline Cosmetics team. She also got support from beauty influencer Michaela, who responded to a comment of someone else calling out the same inclusivity issue with the bronzer. I mean, you can definitely complain about the shade range of the bronzers because the range is terrible. I think it's important to understand budgeting when it comes to creating and developing products. Jacqueline Cosmetics is a newer and smaller brand compared to brands that have fully established themselves. Smaller brands typically cannot afford to have massive shade ranges. As they grow and their budget grows, they extend the ranges. In the meantime, I think she did a great job of getting the best range she could with the budget she has to work with. In the future, she mentioned she'll be extending the ranges. Michaela had a point, and if we're being fair, Jacqueline shouldn't take all the blame since choosing shades wasn't entirely in her control. The backlash died down for a while until Jacqueline decided to launch yet another brand. In 2022, Jacqueline decided to diversify and branch into fashion, specifically comfort-focused loungewear. This wasn't unusual because her audience was growing, and it felt like the right time to expand her reach. She named the loungewear brand Cozy, and that was how a new set of problems began.
I am revealing my brand new brand, Cozy. Just saying it out loud feels so good. I know I say this about everything, but you guys, I've been working on this brand for so long that when I launched Jacqueline Roxanne, when I launched my jewelry line a year ago, so many of you guys guessed that it was going to be a brand like this. And I was like, oh my God, I wish I could tell them, because at that time, I was already like neck deep in sampling and trying on all different things.
The thing is, Cozy wasn't Jacqueline's original idea. Shortly after she introduced her new brand, people started noticing that Caitlin Nicholson, a Canadian YouTuber and the founder of All Things Cozy, was a victim of Jacqueline. Caitlin launched her own brand 5 years before Jacqueline, and she wasn't about to let this hijacking slide. Caitlin came forward in an emotional post, claiming that Jacqueline Hill's brand didn't just happen to use her name. It shared logos, fonts, visual aesthetic, and even slogans in ways that felt far too deliberate to be coincidental. It was bad, and you could tell that she was heartbroken by the development. Caitlin had even reached out to Jacqueline directly in June 2022, asking her to consider a different name before the brand became too established. In her words, regardless of if our brands end up being different, Jacqueline Hill is a fellow YouTuber creating a brand called Cozy. Because she's much bigger than I am, that will crush my brand on social media, search engine optimization, and overall in terms of brand recognition. Also, the font of the logo is very similar to mine. My sign-off is Stay Cozy. This one is Be Cozy. My brand may be a wide umbrella, but it is still a shop of hoodies, yoga wear. Jacqueline filed to trademark the name, knowing fully well that she wasn't the original owner of the concept.
Great. Where I personally messed up as an owner, as a founder, as a CEO, was not doing my own due diligence on the social media side of things. I was not made aware that there was a smaller Canadian creator with an online platform that had that exact same spelling within the brand name. Until we had placed an order for everything, for the blankets, for the robes, for the pajamas, for the socks, for the slippers, and that's when I was made aware of the spelling being the same. The second that I was made aware of the situation, my team and I reached out to her directly to try to make this right.
Jacqueline Hill denied intentional theft, claiming she had already trademarked the name before she learned of the other creator.
As my brand, KOZE. So at the time, I hired a trademark attorney to make sure that whatever name my team and I came up with for my brand was gonna be able to be used legally. We came up with over 100 different names. Everything was taken. We created names from scratch, taken. Everything was trademarked until we came up with the name Cozy, spelled K-O-Z-E. My attorney told me,
legally, she played her cards right. But viewers on social media examined the case came to a different conclusion. Jacqueline got to keep her new brand, but she lost what little trust viewers had in her. The floodgates opened and the backlash began. This isn't just stealing the name, the branding is almost identical to Caitlin's. This is flat out sad. There is no way Jacqueline didn't know. She just saw that Caitlin hadn't trademarked it and took it, at least address it. Poor Caitlin had to put an end to her 5-year business. Cozy wasn't just a business with Caitlin, it was a community, and now it's ending. Great job, Jacqueline. You took away a community just so you can have more money. Caitlin reached out to you and you ignored her. Caitlin messed up by not trademarking, so yes, as this may be legal, it's not ethical. Jacqueline literally destroyed a whole community and brand just for money, while Caitlin wanted to build a safe space for a positive and uplifting community. That's so sad. This time, Jacqueline went too far. The power dynamics were way off. This wasn't Jacqueline going up against another corporation. Caitlin tried to fight back, but she couldn't beat Jacqueline, who seemed to be 10 steps ahead. She made a video titled, Saying Goodbye to Cozy. It was a long and emotional video. Caitlin admitted that she made a mistake by not trademarking her brand name much sooner.
Much sooner. From a stone cold business's business point of view, without me having my trademark in, this person could do this and there would technically be nothing wrong. If we're talking more ethically and morally, and also just if you're gonna say you didn't know that I existed, I can't see how that would be. But hey, maybe I will give the benefit of the doubt. My lawyers.
A brand that existed for 5 years was simply gone. Jacqueline got the name, no doubt, but there is no way she was going to make anything out of it after everything she did. About 1 year after the launch, Cozy shut down.
Analogy that it's like I took the wrong exit on the highway and now I'm making a U-turn. I'm getting back on the highway. And I was like, whoa, that really resonated with me so much. And it's like, honestly, like I'm kind of backpedaling. You know, it's like people are like launching brands and like finding all this success through social media. And here I am like shutting my brands down.
It wasn't just Cozy. Jacqueline also shut down her jewelry line. The only one she didn't close was Jacqueline Cosmetics, and that's because she's not the actual CEO of Jacqueline Cosmetics, a truth she would never admit. The comments were as you would expect. No one had any sympathy for her, and perhaps she didn't deserve any considering all she had done. One commenter urged her to come clean for once in her life and seek redemption. Jacqueline, your legacy will be your endless lies. Even in this video, you still aren't owning up to the fact that you aren't the owner CEO of Jaclyn Cosmetics. You haven't apologized to Kaylin for how you hurt her business, and you still are yet to tell the truth about the lipsticks. There is still hope for you if you can only tell the truth. Someone else replied to the comment saying, "Why are we obsessed with trying to get her to do the right thing? I'm done. She's had her chances, more chances than most get in a lifetime." As Maya Angelou said, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." You would think Jaclyn would stop receiving backlash after closing her brands. I mean, no more controversial product launches would mean fewer instances of lies, mistakes, and eventual backlash. Well, it's not that simple, at least not for Jaclyn. Jaclyn continued posting as an influencer long after closing her brands, but without a brand reputation to protect, she finally started saying what she always wanted to say. In July 2023, about 4 years after the Lipstick-Gate scandal, Jaclyn decided to remind people why she was so controversial in the first place. She posted a TikTok of herself in a restaurant, applying one of the 2019 lipsticks that were reportedly contaminated.
Horrified looks from everyone in the room, but
The caption, "POV, you're still using Jaclyn Hill's contaminated lipstick 4 years later." She even added a specific nod to the warm, fuzzy feeling. This was a reference to the literal hairs customers had found in their products. The video got over 3.4 million views, which wasn't a surprise since it was obviously rage bait. But here was the thing. The goal of this video, or at least the effect of it, was to reframe the narrative around Lipstick-Gate as something that could now be funny.
Today we're gonna be playing with makeup. I'm so excited to be back. Got like my actual lighting set up for the first time since I moved to California. Let me know what you think of the quality.
4 years later, she was applying the same lipstick in a restaurant, and the joke was, "Look how far we've come. Aren't we all in on it together?" Except that not everyone affected by Lipstick-Gate was in a position to laugh. Some of those 29,000 people who signed the recall petition experienced genuine physical reactions. Many never got proper closure. For those people, warm, fuzzy feeling as a joke wasn't funny. It was dismissive, more like mockery. Some commenters wrote, "Thank you, rotten products didn't own her family business. Her taking accountability was just a joke, and her customers and loyal fans are fools. Girl, while you remind us, I completely forgot about that, LOL. It's not even like she handled the whole situation well. We still have questions all these years later. Her lack of shame is showing." Even though most of the traffic from that post was negative, it sure gave Jaclyn the much-needed attention she was seeking, so she made yet another joke about the same incident. The reaction was the same, mostly negative, but there were some of her loyal followers who supported her as she trivialized a rather serious issue. This time she got over 5 million views with comments like, "She had one chance to do the funniest thing ever and she ate. The girl that can't get it, get it. The girls that don't. So you basically confirmed the lipsticks were contaminated." One of her posts on Snapchat in 2022 wasn't even a joke. She was defending her contaminated lipstick. In her stories, she posted a video of herself applying the lipstick with the words, "Not me still wearing my lipstick that people claimed was contaminated, filled with mold and harming people. Bad bitches only." Using the word claimed was bold of Jaclyn. Did she not previously take accountability for the contaminated lipstick and offer refunds to the affected buyers? So what did she mean by claimed? Well, someone commented on the story asking, "So they weren't contaminated?" And she replied, "LMFAO no. 2% of the lipsticks had white fuzzies and air bubbles in them. 2%. That's how loud the internet is. All the people who claimed there was mold, contamination, etc. lied for views. And I sat back, took it, and let it destroy me. I will never do that again." This wasn't a lighthearted joke. Jaclyn was calling everyone who complained about her product a liar. Let's even say she was right, and it was just 2% of her lipsticks that were infected. Keep in mind that Jaclyn sold over 200,000 sticks of lipstick by her own admission. That's about 4,000 people who paid for contaminated products. And she had the audacity to trivialize it and even defend it? It was a low blow even for Jaclyn. Jaclyn seemed unapologetic for all the harm she had caused in the past, from selling contaminated lipsticks to destroying a brand. All she wanted to do was show off her lifestyle with expensive shoes, bags, and clothes.
Hi, okay, I need your help. I did some online shopping and I bought 2 designer bags, okay, but here's the problem. They are both leopard print and I could not decide by looking at them on the internet which one I wanted, so I bought both and you're gonna help me decide which one to keep.
At this point, people were already calling her out for posting unrelatable content, but she didn't really care. "Girl, the first one. Now, I need your help." So should I pay my car payment or my rent? You still don't get it? Poor baby, I can't afford my car note, but I really do hope you make the right decision in your very expensive bags. Then in December 2025, she posted about how she was having difficulty keeping up with her viewers. In the same video, she also complained about having fewer views than before.
I feel like we're in such a weird place on social media as content creators where I am like fighting. I feel like I am like trying to run through mud to connect with my followers at this point. I feel like there are so many bots and I feel like these apps are now controlling who views my videos, and I feel like I get punished and penalized for not showing up and creating.
Apparently, she had taken a week and a half off TikTok because life happened, and she felt like she was being penalized for it. It seemed like she was feeling entitled to views without acknowledging her role in alienating her fans repeatedly until many lost interest in her page.
This video, that's fine, but I'm talking like when you have 1 million followers, but your videos are only getting 30,000 views, this is just not the way it used to be. Like when I started, it was so organic. Like you subscribed to the people that you liked, you opened up those apps, or you got a notification on your phone saying so-and-so just posted a video, you go, you engage with it, and like it was that simple. Now it's like, I put videos out there and sometimes I just feel like I'm talking to myself. I'm like, where is my audience? And it's just,
First of all, the video with 30,000 views she used as an example was an outlier, not the norm. Even at this time, most of her videos were getting between 600,000 and 1 million views. More importantly, viewers were sick of seeing her rubber lavish lifestyle in their faces. She didn't stop but wanted more views, and these comments summarize it. Being a content creator isn't difficult. Not saying it's effortless, but you earn huge money just for making a video from your home about something. Try being a nurse. Try being an investment banker. Try being a soldier. Try being a police officer. Try being a teacher. Try being a shop assistant. Try being a long-distance lorry driver. Until then, be quiet. It's time for you to get back to the real, normal world and not the bubble you've been living in. You have to adjust to the current climate. We're gravitating toward influencers like Shelby Ann because their content feels real and relatable. When over half the country is struggling to afford rent, people aren't interested in watching someone spend thousands on a haul or decorate $1 million home for Thanksgiving. It just doesn't connect anymore. Jacqueline still has a large social media audience, but she would have made significantly more progress if she hadn't ruined her brand with defective products, brand theft, and overconsumption.
I want to show you guys my newest skin obsession. Don't mind this wet spot. I just got done eating In-N-Out and I got sauce on me and tried to wipe it off. I'm such a dirty little hamster. I don't want to talk about it.
Meet Jusica, her real name, Ju Jimin. She's a 30-year-old optometrist turned beauty influencer who also happens to be one of the most controversial people on the internet right now. And it all started with this video.
It's you! Oh my God! Wait, it's over. Sorry, can I take a picture? Yeah, of course.
Now you may be wondering how a 9-second video taken at Coachella drew so much backlash. I'll get to that in a few minutes. First, let me give you a little background information about Jusica. A few years ago, she quit her 6-figure job in the medical industry to focus on social media. Within a short time, she secured over 5 million followers on TikTok, 2.74 million subscribers on YouTube, a New York City apartment, and a Blackpink partnership.
I got a package from Blackpink Rose. A freaking Rosie herself sent me a gift! What if she sent me a wedding ring? Because, I'm single. I'm ready to move.
She didn't get all of these through a manager or even a label rep. People genuinely love to watch her content, and with traffic came deals and money. She was posting designer hauls worth as much as $50,000. And Blackpink wasn't the only brand that worked with her. Jusica also got deals with CosRX, Dr. Melixen, Basilbox, Anua, Hints, and Olens, among others. She wasn't the first beauty influencer to start creating and posting online. So why was her content so good that she didn't even need an intermediary to secure major brand deals? Well, for starters, she started with amazing makeup transformation videos and cosplay of K-pop idols that were just viral videos racked between between 40 to 58 million views per post. Now these are major numbers, and Juska's gamble of leaving her corporate job to focus on influencing was paying off on a large scale. But here's the thing about building a platform based on your personality, face, and opinions. Your life is going to be under a microscope. When you're wrong, there's nowhere to hide. And Juska would be wrong about so many things. First of all, she got called out for colorism and lying about cosmetic procedures. But this was nothing compared to the racism allegations she faced earlier in April 2026. And don't even get me started on her fake K-pop debut at 29 years old, or the war she had with other influencers along the line. Grab your popcorn and stay tuned, because you do not want to miss anything in this story. If you know anything about K-beauty, Korean beauty standards, then you already know where this is going. The standard is pale skin. In South Korea, lighter skin is considered more desirable, and that idea gets baked into the makeup, the skincare, the filtering, the editing, all of it. And Juska, as someone who grew up in that cultural space, carried those standards with her. The problem is that when you have 5 million followers and you start presenting regional beauty standards as universal truths rather than cultural contexts, things get messy fast. The first major controversy around Juska's beauty content came when she made a statement online that makeup looks better on pale skin. She deleted the video after it got a lot of backlash, but that wasn't the only time she talked about pale skin. It was her entire personality.
In a lot of Asian countries, it is actually normal to go a shade or two lighter, and I don't see why there's an issue with that.
Now, in isolation, you could argue this was a personal opinion, maybe even a culturally conditioned one. But here's where she made it worse. When people pushed back on it and called her out for promoting colorism, her response was to double down. She said that was what K-pop makeup artists told her.
And yes, I did say makeup looks prettier on pale skin because that's quote-unquote what K-pop makeup artists that I've personally worked with.
And look, I get what she's saying here. She's not wrong that Korea has its own beauty standards that are specific to its cultural context. That's true. And yes, you could argue that she was just sharing what she was taught. Some people in the comments agreed with her as well. Same as Japan. Pale skin was the icon of beauty for thousands of years before we even met other races. For I don't know why people are saying it's the beauty standard. Just because it is doesn't make it right for people to defend this. The thing is, she wasn't making content for a Korean audience. She was making content for people across the world, including a massive black and brown audience who are sitting there watching her tell them that their skin tone makes their makeup look worse. That lands differently depending on who's watching. And this is why she got called out in the comments for promoting a beauty standard rooted deeply in colorism. But this beauty standard results from colorism. So why are you trying to make it seem like it's normal? I know it has been going on for years, but don't you think it needs to change though? Like, yeah, it is normalized, but that doesn't mean it is acceptable. You also should be a little more mindful and respectful too. Your words can affect some people differently. Mind your words when expressing. It didn't stop there. People also started noticing a pattern in her foundation shade choices. She was consistently reaching for shades lighter than her actual skin tone. Now, in Korean beauty, going a shade or two lighter is a pretty standard practice. It's called the whitening trend, and it's deeply embedded in the culture.
For many years. Like, this isn't something new. If you try to pick makeup products, like especially the skin products from Korea, you will never be able to find shades that are your own, probably. Even for me, I can never find shades that matches mine.
This is where a pattern starts to form, a pattern you'll see recur throughout this story. My primary concern with Juska is that when the heat gets hot, she doesn't always address it immediately. Sometimes she simply deletes the video and moves on. That may have worked for a while back when her audience was smaller and the internet had a shorter memory, but it stopped working after a while. To make matters worse, colorism allegations popped on and off from time to time, but they faded quickly. Eventually, Juska was accused of something more damning to her reputation, lying about cosmetic procedures and profiting from those lies. First of all, I want to be clear, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with getting plastic surgery or any other cosmetic procedure. That's not what this is about. The problem comes when you're an influencer who makes money selling beauty advice and beauty products to an audience that trusts you, telling them that their insecurities can be fixed with the products you're promoting, and secretly using expensive cosmetic procedures to achieve your own look. That's where I draw the line.
My face shape did change so much. I'm pretty sure you guys are dying to know how the hell I did that without surgery.
The beginning of this video set people off. The two photos she compared had obvious cosmetic differences, but she was bold enough to push it as something anyone can achieve naturally. Her fans started calling her out. Without plastic surgery, but you got your eyes and nose done, changed your jaw shape with Botox and got filler? These were cosmetic procedures too. Doesn't matter if you didn't go under the knife. Do what you want with your body, but there is nothing natural about your changes. Bodies and faces are not trends. This kind of ideology is insanely dystopian. This person had a point. You can't call your transformation natural if you had multiple cosmetic procedures simply because they were minimally invasive. And that wasn't the only part of the video that pissed people off. Juska's video was full of tips to help people build confidence, yet all the tips she shared addressed superficial things like getting a slimmer face and jawline.
I love it when girls work towards their image and themselves to get a better version. And that's how you gain self-confidence. And self-confidence is key to our mental health as well. I am your beauty older sis.
I know that the tips were horrible, but is anyone else disturbed by the whole better version of yourself disclaimer? Like, I need to get a slimmer face to achieve self-confidence? She made it seem like confidence comes from fixing appearances rather than it being a mental thing that is not so easily solved. And I know some people will be more confident this way. She made it seem like it's the only way. A lot of influencers encourage young ladies to boost their self-confidence, and that's okay. But telling people to tie their feelings of self-worth to their physical appearance and unrealistic beauty standards was not a good idea. Juska should have known better, since she admitted to being a victim of bullying when she was much younger. She said she was bullied because her thick lips didn't fit into the Korean beauty standard.
A lot of you guys always tell me that you love my lips, but I'm about to tell you guys something really crazy because when I was growing up in Korea, I used to get bullied because of my thick lips. In Korea, it's actually really common that you get bullied in school because of your appearance.
The bullying led to insecurities about her lips, so she decided to get fillers. The lip filler situation would bring some controversy of its own. At some point, the fillers started migrating and didn't look natural at all. Things became noticeably worse in one of her videos.
It girls are using Korean cushion in 2025. And if you want to be that it girl, let me introduce you guys to some of the best Korean cushion out there based on your skin type. Yes, as you guys can see, I have tried literally all the
One person pointed out that the lip fillers were a little too much. Juska, in her usual defensive tone, quickly posted another video of herself getting ready to dissolve the lip filler with the caption, "I was born with thick lips, and I was bullied for it growing up. I got mini lip fillers once 4 years ago on my upper lips, and you guys think I get it every day. Anyways, I honestly don't care about the hate. Just got it dissolved because I wanted to. Hee hee hee." Then she dissolved the fillers.
Guys, I actually got my lip filler dissolved and it's been 12 hours. So I just want to give you guys a little update about my natural lips. Are you guys ready? Natural lips review! I love it.
In this same video, she discouraged her audience from getting lip fillers, claiming natural was best all of a sudden.
Guys, just want to let you guys know that lip fillers, which I didn't realize, but was pretty uncomfortable, I guess, and it felt very heavy on my upper lips. I do feel like I couldn't move it as much, so just, keep in mind of those side effects before you get lip fillers done. Not discouraging, but just a side note, okay? But yeah, I love my natural lips.
The inconsistencies in her beauty tips started pissing people off. It just seemed like Juska's beauty and confidence advice was changing regularly based on her personal standards and what she considered a trend at any given time. And also, why is she so obsessed with claiming she's all natural when she clearly had work done? In one of her videos, a follower pointed out that her face was stiff and didn't move when she spoke. Juska replied with another video admitting to getting multiple shots of baby Botox over the years.
Her face doesn't move. Does it or does it not? I've been getting Botox for the past 5 years, so let's see if I can...
Apart from her obsession with pale skin and having the perfect Korean face, Juska also appeared to be obsessed with looking younger than her age. She has multiple videos showing how she looks like she's 20 years old even though she's 30. And while her fans usually hyped her up in the comments, one particular video didn't generate the intended response. The The comment section wasn't having it, with people saying things like, pushing 30, I thought you were in your 30s. Your mom looks young though. You look your age, but you look good for your age. Feel like people always get this mixed up. The truth is, Juska looks really good regardless of age because she puts a lot of effort into her appearance, but some of her fans felt like she was a bit delusional for thinking she looked 20. All of this was annoying, but most people were willing to let it slide since it didn't seem like Juska was attacking anybody directly. But things would take a dark turn in April 2026 when Juska found a target of her antics. It all started at Coachella. Every influencer with a brand deal and a ring light was there, posting every few hours, going live from the pit, tagging sponsors in the dust. It was a busy season for content creators, and Juska was right in the middle of it, turning her real life into a feed. Everything was going well until Juska posted this video.
Guys, I'm at Coachella right now and Manon is here! Oh my god! Wait, she's over. Sorry, can I take a picture with you? Yeah, of course.
It looked like an innocent video, but context matters. First of all, that wasn't Manon, but Juska deliberately called someone else her name. You may think it's not that deep, but when you consider what was happening at the time, you'll understand why the video led to backlash. Manon Bannerman is a 23-year-old Swiss-Ghanaian artist and the only black member of Cat's Eye, the girl group built through the joint venture between K-pop titan Hybe and Geffen Records. She'd been discovered on social media by a casting director, had zero prior training, and earned her spot through the Dream Academy competition series. More than 120,000 people applied for that program, and Manon made the final 6. Her path into the group was by every measure improbable. Unfortunately, what followed was not a fairy tale. From the moment Cat's Eye debuted, Manon faced a specific and consistent pattern of racist abuse from sections of the fan base. She was called lazy in live streams, comment sections, and fan forums. The word followed her everywhere.
Manon's lazy. Didn't you watch Dream Academy? Like, duh. Dream Academy.
And it wasn't arbitrary. Lazy is one of the oldest and most loaded slurs deployed against black women in professional spaces, and the people using it in Manon's comments knew exactly what they were doing. The lazy narrative began when girls in the academy complained bitterly about Manon getting a lot of public attention despite putting in less work than everyone else.
Manon, she's getting so much attention. You know, people are upset because she doesn't put a lot of effort and she doesn't show up for her teams a lot. And so people are upset that she is the person who's getting so much attention. It's not based on anything right now. It's just because she's pretty, and that's true. She is pretty.
Is Manon here?
No, she's not here.
Manon clearly knows about it because she's literally spoken to me saying that she's upset.
Keep in mind that Manon had a disability that the label and the group were fully aware of, but that didn't stop them from pushing the lazy narrative. Her fans weren't having it and were constantly at war with fans of others in the group. It was a whole thing, and at one point it seemed like the company simply didn't want the face of Cat's Eye to be a black woman, and it was starting to look like blatant racism.
Let's never forget that a lot of the negativity about Manon from Cat's Eye is because of Hybe and Popstar Academy, y'all. We have so many people from so many different perspectives talking about Manon in such a negative way. And my question to the people who made this show was, did y'all ever think about the fact that this girl is going to be in the group, is going to have to deal with the backlash of...
Then in February 2026, 2 months before Coachella, Hybe and Geffen announced that Manon would be taking a temporary hiatus to focus on her health and well-being. She disappeared from the group's promotional materials almost immediately. She wasn't in the music video for their new single Pinky Up, released April 2nd, and wasn't in the promotional rollout. She had removed Cat's Eye from her Instagram bio entirely. Nobody from the label was explaining anything. Cat's Eye performed at Coachella on April 10th and again on April 17th. There were 5 members on stage, 1 empty space. Everyone was watching, every fan, every commentator, and every person who had been following the injustice Manon faced. And in this sensitive environment, Juska decided to film her video with influencer Darcy, claiming she was Manon. It looked like she was mocking Manon's situation for cheap clout, and her fans weren't having it. What's more, Manon and Darcy look nothing alike, but Juska's video made it seem like all black women were interchangeable.
What exactly is the joke? Because labeling one black woman as another feeds into a harmful idea. It's racially insensitive and plays into the erasure of black identity by acting like black women are interchangeable.
Juska had crossed the line with this one, and viewers under the comments of this video were quick to point out how her actions were racially insensitive, especially for an Asian woman who should know better. She's very pretty, but she doesn't look like Manon at all. We hate it when it's done to us, so why the F do we do this to other POC? Pissing me the F off. Exactly. We never like it when it happens to us, so why perpetuate that same weirdo macho behavior, and the context sitting around the video made the situation even worse. Manon's specific wound, the grievance she had with the industry since Dream Academy, was being erased as an individual, being treated as less than a full person by the community that was supposed to support her. And even if she didn't perform with the group, Manon was present at Coachella when Juica took that video. So while it looked like a simple, harmless video, it pushed a bad narrative about Manon. You are interchangeable with any other black woman we decide to project onto. After the backlash, Juica deleted the video and posted an apology. Or was it an excuse?
Let's try to clarify a few things. So the girl in that video is Darcy. She's my friend, and we watched Cat's Eye together. And that video was filmed right after a Cat's Eye performance because we watched it together. And then as we were about to leave, we were like, okay, like let's film a content together, like just like something really quick because I collabed with Darcy before too, and then you guys love to see us together. So I just wanted to film something really quick before.
Her defense came in 3 parts. First, she said Darcy had agreed to it. She knew the concept before they filmed it and said yes. Darcy confirmed this publicly afterward. Secondly, she claimed it was just a trend, and Juica wasn't lying. There was indeed a trend where people claimed to meet famous celebrities at Coachella when in reality it was just other lookalike influencers. Juica acknowledged that topics about race and representation can be sensitive, but pointed out that context matters.
I do understand how some people might have felt uncomfortable and upset without knowing the full context of it. Conversation around race and representation are real, and those are topics that I do not take it lightly. So I do want to apologize to people who watched that video and felt uncomfortable. I'm sorry I made you guys feel that way because that was never the intention.
She was right. Context mattered, and in this case, the context made it clear it may have been a harmless joke. But the thing is, the timing was off, and thanks to the backlash, Juica realized the joke was in bad taste, which is why she deleted the video. And that was her third and final point.
And I thought the video that I made was insensitive towards someone that I look up to because you guys understand that her current situation, she's going through a lot. And just using her as a punchline, I don't think that was right. That's why I took the video down.
The comments in her apology video were mixed. While most of our fans didn't see it as a big deal, a few people took the time to explain one possible reason the original video attracted so much backlash in the first place. I don't think anyone understands the severity of the situation and why some Cat's Eye fans are mad. Everyone was worried because Manon is supposed to be on a hiatus, and some of them were hoping for her to come back, especially performing at Coachella. So when she said that she saw Manon and they were excited and her friend Darcy showed up, it wasn't that funny, it was disappointing. I was a little excited at first when you mentioned Manon in the video, but was a little disappointed, but thank you for speaking up about this situation. This seems like a valid argument, but it went beyond fan disappointment, and commentators weren't buying Juica's excuses. I mean, she said it was a trend, but in every example she showed, the resemblance between the celebrity and the influencer was always there. That was the format. So without a physical resemblance, she wasn't doing the trend. She was doing something else and calling it the trend after the fact to save face. The first creator who went viral for calling her out accepted the apology. Well, partially. She acknowledged the context and the clarification.
Juica posted an apology, and I do want to acknowledge and appreciate her for taking accountability. I understand it was a trend and respect the clarification, but I also have to be honest. It doesn't erase the impact.
It didn't matter much if Juica's actions were due to ignorance or indifference. The damage was already done.
Or Monica versus Brandy. So when something is said jokingly, it can still reflect a deeper issue that both of our communities understand. And this is why I spoke up. There's a pattern, especially with Black women, where their work ethic and identity are constantly undermined. We've seen it to artists like Normani, Leanne Pinnock, incredibly hardworking, yet still labeled as lazy or not trying hard enough. And that's why this situation with Manal matters.
With her knowledge of the industry, years of access to K-pop, and relationships with labels, there is no way she could claim complete ignorance of the situation. And speaking of her exposure on the K-pop industry, Juica still found a way to generate controversy from it as well. Juica's relationship with K-pop was her biggest asset, and eventually one of her biggest controversies. She received PR directly from Blackpink and attended their events.
I got a package from Blackpink Rose. A freaking Rosie herself sent me a gift! What if she sent me a wedding ring? Because, I mean,
Jusica built an entire content around concerts and idol makeup reactions. She had access that most influencers could only dream of. In the Venn diagram where beauty influencer culture and K-pop culture overlapped, she was right there in the middle, living her best life. One day she announced that she was debuting as a 29-year-old K-pop idol.
And I'm gonna serve exactly what you are. Cut!
It was a highly anticipated debut, and she posted a series of videos advertising the debut for a couple of months. Her fans were excited and looked forward to seeing her rise, but there were a few skeptical people who posted comments like, "OMG, so happy for you, Jusica. I hope you will be happy. I'm waiting for the debut. I'm so proud of you. I've followed you since when you were not popular. Does she even sing or dance? Cause I never seen a single video of her doing that. You must be too old for K-pop companies though." And then on April 1st, she announced that it was nothing but an April Fool's joke. What happened was she was launching a product with Olens Global and made up the whole idol debut thing to generate buzz and drive traffic to her product. Her fans were not happy about it, since many of them waited patiently for the debut. When she got called out, she posted an apology video, but didn't actually seem sincerely sorry for what she did.
This is a filter. Hey guys! I feel so bad because some of you guys actually stayed up till 4 a.m. to wait for my idol era, but I'm so sorry guys, that was not real. But the whole debut thing was not a lie because I did launch a new...
Many fans expressed their disappointment in the comments section. Okay guys, no offense, but I'm kind of disappointed. Like I was waiting on the countdown until I randomly fell asleep. No, well, just disappointed overall. And I thought I was supporting an iconic girl who was inspiring me, but it was all a lie. And she isn't even sad about lying to thousands of fans? Her fans weren't the only ones who noticed and called Jusica out for her nonchalant behavior. Other creators started making posts about her overall shadiness, and a few of them caught her attention. A YouTuber named Coco Crazy, with almost 400,000 subscribers, spent months building an in-depth...
I know you guys are all planning for a glow up and looking to just change up your whole makeup routine. And you guys know I always try different makeup products, so I am probably someone to ask.
At the surface, Jusica does a lot of things that a lot of other influencers do that's very effective. She makes it like this whole, you can trust me, I can help you, you're insecure, I can help.
video about Jusica's controversies, and eventually she published it. The video wasn't inherently damaging. It basically pointed out some of the things Jusica had done that didn't sit well with fans. Coco made it clear that the video wasn't made out of hate.
Video, I'm simply trying to critique her. I don't hate her as a person, so please don't think that. I don't hate her. She is both a victim and a person causing a lot of damage. She is a victim in the end, but she is also someone causing damage. So please don't take this as me saying she's...
As expected, the video found its way to Jusica, and she did not like it. She posted a video accusing Coco of hate while admitting that she didn't even watch Coco's video for her mental health.
Say something.
The comment section was mixed. Most of her fans supported her and concluded that Coco was hating, but a few comments pointed out how the video wasn't personal or hateful. One person said, "If I had $1 for every time a famous person's fan base hates on Coco Crazy for no reason without even watching her video because they automatically assume criticism is hate." Someone else encouraged her to sue Coco for defamation and teach her a lesson. "Girl, you should file for a defamation or find loopholes to find a case. She's looking for issues that's not even there in the first place." The way I see it, she makes hate videos on influencers and calls it criticism, and that started the majority of the hate under the influencers' videos. Those influencers should get in contact with you to file a case against her. Y'all should teach her a lesson. Coco responded with another video stating that she never intended to hate on Jusica and was only dropping honest criticism, but that didn't matter. Jusica simply couldn't take criticism and always reframed it as harassment. This isn't unusual, since most influencers tend to respond aggressively when people make videos that aren't full of praise for them. Jusica wasn't an exception, and referring to people who called her behavior out as haters only caused her fans. She still has her platform, she still has her audience, and still gets major brand deals, but she lost the trust of many people who used to take her at her word, and that's currency in the beauty industry. Not your follower count, trust. After years of deleting videos, accusing creators of hate, lying about cosmetic procedures, and participating in the Coachella incident rooted in a pattern of racial insensitivity, Jusica has a lot of work to do to fully regain the public's trust. But she doesn't seem to care. She's still making daily content without paying attention to the voice of her audience, unlike our next beauty influencer, who took backlash seriously and changed her content style for the better.